Alright, let's see. I think we're live. Let me just see. Yep, looks like we are live. Okay, so I will be honest. I probably, whoa, oops, I don't need the chat that big. I won't really be checking the chat super often. I might peek at it on my phone, but yeah, kind of figured I'd invite you guys along to me doing some design stuff. So, in short, a friend of mine has asked me to do some custom design work for him for one of his model trains, and he pretty much just sent me this, which is the tender, and this, which is the boiler assembly and stuff, but pretty much he's left me to my own devices on this. Now, one thing I will say is I got inspired by this really unique tender that he came up with, which had the combination of the tank and then a regular tender shape. So I'm thinking, you know what? Let's implement that on this. And this over here, the shell of this was actually like a clock or something that he had found on eBay, and he stuck it on the mechanism, which was really cool. So he likes more, shall we say, whimsical and, you know, just creative stuff. So I am totally going to play into that here. So let's just create a new sketch. See if there's anything in the chat. Okay, there's nothing. I should probably just run it on my phone, to be honest. I'm not going to really say dimensions out loud, but, you know, if you really want to take the time to try and read them all, be my guest. Oh, hey, what's up, Vince? Okay, oh, and I should also note the window is open and I'm waiting on the mail guy. And he is pretty quick, so if you hear me run out of the room, it's because the mail guy came and I had to sign for a package. So that is 1.36 wide by, let's make it, how long do we want to make this thing? Thinking maybe, I want to say 3 inches long. This is very much a prototype, if you will. I need to figure out, there's a lip on here. 05, okay. Let's go 04. Yeah, that'll work for wall thickness. So let's see, how tall do we want this? And in my wonderful disaster of a desk, where in the world is the tender that I just had? Here it is. So I also have this, which is an existing tender that I'm using for some dimensions. You know what? I'll do like 0.75. Let's do that. This is a shallower locomotive than most standard ones. So let's see. Yeah, we'll do 135 at point 125. Let's try that. Oops. And yes, it is normal when I'm designing stuff to do something, not like it, go back and modify it, repeat as necessary. That is completely normal. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. And honestly, a lot of this is just, if it looks right, it is right. I mean, there genuinely is no prototype for, whoops, for what I'm doing here. So you'll see me doing that a lot, but you know what? That's just the nature of how this goes. So I'll create a sweep. That guy. That there. Let's remove chain selection because we don't need that. Right. Okay, let's actually select the path. There we go. Perfect. So that's just a little lip around the edge of the tender. That is there to help prevent things from falling out. You can also see it on this guy. It's right there. The angle's actually steeper. Do I want to make it? No, it looks about right. I'll do that. Now, the other thing is on the edge, it has a rounded over part to it. So let me see. Yeah, we'll just draw a plane and do that. Okay, we'll figure that out. Okay. Bear with my rambling as well. This is literally how my brain works. Just dumping it out there. I figure, you know what? For those who want to see what it takes, feel free. Oh, I forget which engine is this again. This is his 260. Done. 26 tender. Okay, good. Now we're saved. Now we're safe. Now we can go back to doing stupid and crazy things. So looking back at this guy, the tank, we'll leave about, we'll leave about a foot empty in the back there. How about that? Yeah, we'll put that guy there. We'll draw a tank that's about that big. Yeah, we'll do that. Now, a lot of this is just drawing it up as we go. So that guy will make that like an inch. There we go. And then we'll pull that guy down like 125. Well, no. What happens if we just put that and that together? Thinking I'll actually make the diameter of that a little smaller. Yeah, we'll do that. Do that. Pull that up. 2. Get rid of that constraint because we don't need it. 1.875. The thing is, you got to remember, this tank right here technically has to fit within the confines of that, but I don't want it sticking out like just some stupidly large amount. That'd be stupid as well. So I kind of have to play the, does this visually make any sense or not? So let me see, all the way back to there. Let's make the tank. Yeah, 2.5 inches works. Hey, what's up, Brian? How are things? They're pretty good. I'll put it that way. It's been a little up and down, and I will be perfectly honest. The reason why I've not done any live streaming in a long time is because I got extremely burnt out doing online school. So I figured, you know what? Now is as good a time as any to jump back on that proverbial horse, if you will. So I decided, you know what? Let me just do a little bit of streaming for fun and go from there. So why not? Why doesn't it like that? Okay, whatever. You know what? I'm actually going to redo that. Yeah, I'll do that on the inside because I think that'll look better. I'll do 1.25. Now we'll go back to 1. There we go. Perfect. We have our daily private jet flying above. I seem to be underneath the flight path for jets going to an airport about 25 miles away from here. So you'll occasionally hear them. Fun fact, it's actually the airport that I went skydiving out of with Danielle. So go peep that fun video if you want something to do. And then we'll just pull that guy like 04. Oops. 4. There we go. Perfect. So now what we can do with that is we can pull that when we do the tank. Pull that back, and we'll go minus, oops, we'll go 2.25. Yeah. There we go. That looks pretty good, actually. Looks similar to that. I forget if my friend actually built that tank or not. The idea is we've got that stuff in the back, and whatnot. Yep. Thanks, Brian. It's been a hot second. I've been doing content. It's just for multiple reasons. I mean, I guess it's worth discussing here. I'm definitely not going to stop doing 3D printing content, but I will admit I am getting a little burnt out on pretty much feeling like I am holding everybody's hand when it comes to learning how to do basic 3D printing stuff. So I got a couple of videos coming out eventually on like determining which heat break you have on your printer using my Artillery Genius, and I've also got a video I'm working on showing how to do how to design up mask templates and stuff using .svgs that you can find online. But I definitely want to try and move the channel away from a hi, let me hold your hand with 3D printing, which I know that's very popular and I know it's been very helpful to a lot of people, so I don't want to sound like I'm hating on the people who've found that useful, but at the same time I just kind of feel like I've lost track of what the channel was supposed to be. And it also gets kind of frustrating when you put content out there about how to do things and then everybody wants to fight you on it, and it's just like, okay, I didn't say my way was the only way. This is just how I go about doing it. Why don't you actually go and try it for yourself? So that's that. Mountain Dew Baja Blast. And stuff. I'm not careful when I drink it. It makes me absolutely paranoid, but I still like it. It's good stuff. So I had to grab me some Taco Bell on the way home. So what the heck? Okay. Let's see. Ooh, that had the rounded corners. Should we do the rounded corners? Yeah, let's do the rounded corners. Why not? That makes things look like 100 times more amazing. So let's see, let's do like 0.125, do that, offset, that guy, 0.04, 0.04. So out of curiosity, are you guys up to anything fun and exciting worth mentioning in the comments section, or is it just life as usual? Let's put that there. Oh, so what I'm doing with this, I should mention for those who don't know, is this will allow me to round the ends over, which is what I want. And then like that. Yeah, it's close to what I wanted, but that's not entirely what I wanted. We'll worry about that later. I'm not too worried about that. You know what? Let me see something here. Make that a little shorter, actually, at 2.75. But yes. Smashing. Here's what we do. Because those end pieces stopped ahead, if you will, we can delete that there. And you know what? Yeah. Oh, hello, the random jet. Now we'll work on that plane, we'll work on this one. Yes. Okay. So what I've decided I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw on the bottom plane here the what would be the underside pieces. So, and we have another airplane flying over. Wow, today's a busy day at the airport. Okey-doke. We'll just do that, 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 that. And then we'll just go like that, that. Oops. That. That tangent. Good. Do it. Yay, good job. As powerful as my laptop is, it's not a gigantic fan of trying to do streaming and design at the same time, so sometimes it gets a little bit cranky on me. So pull that in. Perfect. Now the idea with this is I'm trying to keep it as hollow on the inside as I can, just because this will be sent out probably to Sculpteo to be printed commercially. So by keeping it as hollow as possible, one, it gives as much room on the inside as possible for my friend to put electronics and stuff, and on the other hand, keeps the cost down, which is nice because we might end up selling this, so naturally the less it costs, the more we're probably going to end up selling, which is always a good thing. Oops. Going a little fast there for myself. Oh dang, trying to keep 150 people working remotely. That is insane. I will say hats off to my instructors who were able to work around the whole pretty much taking in-person classes and dumping them to online, which was, I won't lie, it was a bit of a nightmare. But some of them did it better than others, but you know what? I passed the classes that I passed, and at the end of the day, that's all that matters. So it was what it was. Okay. Nope. You are not the mail guy. Okay. Got that there. That's looking pretty close to that. Now, I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to do it with 2 domes or 1 dome. I'm thinking the domes will actually be separate. And I'll just make it so that there's small holes where you could screw the domes in place. So if you don't like a dome in one spot, you can just fill that hole, or that, heck, I might even just do a conical divot. You can very easily fill that in, or just leave it because nobody's really going to notice, and then go from there. So, but we still need to design up the dome, so let's do that. Let's do a tangent plane. That's our reference. Okey-doke. I'll just do one in the middle because that's easiest. Make it like 5 of an inch. Pull it in 04. Distance to the object, new body. Okey-doke. Now, one thing that I probably should have done was actually done 2 sides and then pulled up top. We'll go like 1875 because we still have to add the top. Now the alternative method to this is I could have drawn the profile and swept it around. It's another option. I'm definitely going to do a sweep though for the top half of it. So that's going to be easier. Okay, we'll go like 125. Just pull those together. Perfect. And because that guy's a construction line, we'll click on it, we'll hit X to construct it. Oh gosh, and you're the entire IT department, Brian. Oh geez, dude. Hats off to you, man. I could not do that. I won't lie. I don't know exactly what you specify in, but let's just say I bungled my way through a HTML CSS class that was like kind of like a visual design course. It was actually really interesting for me as a product design major. Definitely glad that I took it, but definitely it was like I don't get half this stuff, but this is also really interesting. So, but that's impressive. I know the IT department at school was always busy in my Photoshop and Illustrator class because the projector would never want to play nice with us, so we made do, but it got kind of frustrating after a while. But we managed our way through it, so it's all that mattered. Okay, so we got the dome. Oh, that's not on the right plane. Rats. Oops. Somebody screwed up. Okay, let's see if we can salvage this. Let's go mid-plane. Yeah, that guy's on the mid-plane. Silly me thought the origin was the same as where I'd drawn, which it was not. But oh, I hate it when it does that. Why do you have to do that, Fusion? Why? So the one thing that's kind of annoying is when I tell it I actually need it to be here, and Fusion's like, hey, let's just totally mirror the whole thing, and I'm like, that's not very funny, Fusion. Okay, you know what? Screw that. We'll just redo the sketch really fast. It's not that hard. See, for all the people who think that I never make mistakes, there you go. There you go. Galvin just made a mistake. I am human. Things go wrong. I just don't go running around complaining about it publicly because, you know what? That doesn't solve anything. So, connect those guys. Make sure that goes to the midpoint. Perfect. The other thing is because there's like 50,000 different styles of domes out there. I'm just going for... Well, I guess today is a great day for flying. Holy crap. Everybody's out there today. I don't blame you. You guys can't see it though, but it is like blue skies and it's a bit warm today, but it is actually, I don't blame everybody going out for flying. It's actually a really nice day to go. So if I had an airplane, I think I'd be flying instead of streaming right now, to be honest. But oh well. Let's see, can I make those? I can't. Okay, so what's the actual distance there? So 4. All right, yeah, we won't worry about that. It's probably good enough. It's just a dome. So now we're going to revolve the dome around. And that's our axis, and then we'll turn off the lower part. We want those two to join, but we don't want the underside to join. So I'm going to pull that guy in like 0625. And then I'll just pull that guy in like 0625. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Now, all the little detail stuff. I'm not too worried about the domes because I might make a couple of different styles of them. It's all one of those figure it out later. Let's get the main body done and then go from there. So one thing I forgot to do that I talked about was putting in the various hole locations. I'll just make it like 1/8 of an inch. I'll just create a rectangular pattern with it. Direction. That already knows. Symmetric. I'll do like 0.65. That looks pretty good. Okay, we'll end that. Go back to there. Turn that on. Now I'm adding the holes that I had talked about adding, but never did. Oops. Mass 0.04. So the idea is instead of pulling them through all the way, 125 is a little big. 625. The idea is I'm just going to pull this down a small amount. Let's go like a 3125 so it has a flat bottom. I'll go to modify and I'll chamfer it so it creates a divot that even after printing and polishing and all that goodness will be there. Is that going to go the right way? Technically, I think it should be. Yeah, it should be that way. Oops. Okay. We'll just make it a tiny one, and then we'll come along and we'll chamfer it, and then it'll be bigger. 031. What's the top diameter on that? Oh, that's the length. Oh, it's 250. Okay. Can I measure distance? I guess in the grand scheme of things, that's actually not very big. Easy enough to fill in. I'm not going to worry about it. I'll see what it looks like when I actually print the prototype up later. But the idea is now we have this. So now what I can actually do is I can take and I can copy this dome. We'll move it like that. Perfect. So the idea is, oh, rats, I never drew in the mounting post. Oops. This is always the fun part about design is when you're like, yeah, I think I'm done, and then you're like, oh, I actually forgot the most important part, and then you kind of have to go back and backtrack a little bit, but oh well. Let's see. There. There. Just pull that guy. 0.65. I'll go 4. Because I want to create a hollow stem in the middle that we can screw into. Let me see. What is it? 256 screw diameter. It's probably smaller than that if I recall. Oh wait, yeah, I think I'll go 03125, and then you can use like a 256 and tap it or something like that. Okay, that's 03125, and then we'll go 625. Perfect. Two. Okay, there we go. So it's all some luck. There we go, and then we'll select. Oh, whoops. I forgot to extend the length on those. Extend that guy until it touches, extend that guy until it touches. Go back and double check it. Boom. Hey, there we go. Perfect. So now we have our little internal mounting post. So we'll just go like 5. There we go. Now I'll need to figure out a way to mount those for, go away. I don't care. I don't have TikTok. I don't give a crap about TikTok. Shoo. I'm doing a live stream. Okay. So with that, now we have the little mounting posts built into our domes. Like I said before, we can do whatever we want with the domes at a later date. I'm not going to worry about that. Is there any details that I want to add? Not necessarily. Just the backup light and stuff is all things you add on later. Okay, so I'm thinking I'm pretty happy with how this is now. So let me actually save out this main body here. You know what? Yeah, I think I'll print it with the domes in place. I'll just increase the thickness of that bulkhead there just to make it, oh, nah, doesn't really make any difference because I gotta print it with supports anyways. What I will do though is I will extend that distance to there just to make it a little easier to print. And yeah, I'll just pull those out. Little things like that, just they make things look nicer and print a little better as well, so that works. Okay. As for the domes, yeah, I think I'll just print those separately. Actually, yeah, we'll do that. Okay, so this will probably be wrapping up the stream here. I don't know how long I've been going for. I'm going for a little bit, so we'll just call this tender test. And then we'll fire up Simplify 3D here. And for everybody who's constantly asking, the only reason why I use Simplify 3D is because I've been using it for a long darn time. No, it does not mean it's the better slicer. That's always fun. But it's like, should I buy Simplify 3D? And I'm like, it's up to you. I mean, it's got pros, it's got cons, but it's not like it's, you know, the greatest thing ever. There's things I like about it, there's things I don't like about it, and that's that. Okay, enough rambling. Let me see what the print time on that'll be. Hour and 45 minutes. Yeah, you know what? I'll print that up. Let me do the domes as well while we're at it. Sorry, the power plug on my printer is a little bit iffy right now, so I need to make sure it's plugged in properly. Get the printer heating up. Tender test dome. I can't decide if I want to do this on my Hicktop or my Artillery Genius. The Genius has a bigger nozzle, so I can print it faster, but the quality will be a little bit less naturally, so. We'll see. Tender test dome. We'll do two. I don't want to do 6 of them. We'll do one more. We'll arrange those guys. What we're going to do is we're actually going to pull these up like a millimeter off the build surface and actually print them up on supports, so that way I know it's actually going to work. Let me just do a second process just for the tender, because I don't need nor want dent supports on that. But I do want the dent supports on the domes. So there's an example of where Simplify is nice, as I can say I want these parts these way, and I want these parts these way, and I can get away with that in there. But I think other slicers are catching up to that now, so pick your poison, as they say. All right, well, that looks good to me. I've got the printer heating up. I'll pop my SD card in, load it up on there, and that'll conclude the stream. So I hope you found that mildly entertaining and interesting. I should have my video out soon, hopefully this weekend, on the masks that I'd mentioned. And I'm going to actually be doing a more in-depth video on this, more talking about the process and sketching up ideas and things like that. But I figured, you know what, let me just do a test of the streaming of this. I need to also design up for this guy, which is the boiler, the tanks, the domes, that sort of stuff. I need to talk to my friend first and see how much of this we were going to use the originals for, how much of this we were going to design. I also need to come up with a cab. That's just a cab I had lying around. Like what style we want to use, all that stuff. So I'm going to figure that out with him, discuss all that, and then we'll go from there. So hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you here whenever I do another stream. See you guys later.